It is nice to finally meet you. Though, you could have left a smaller mess. Endurrr. I see you're still that weak little archival assistant you've always been.
We both know that is not true.
True? Remember when you cried in that bunker? When you cried for the archivist to help you? I may not have assisted in your torment, but I have to say that watching was something I rather enjoyed. You are just the archivist's lapdog. Someone's dramatic.
You have amused me, so you will do me a favor.
Help you? What could you, the great Avatar, possibly need help with?
You will go to the archives and you will nudge the archivist in the right direction. He has not entered my gift. He will not enter my gift. You will make him. You call me weak, an archival lapdog, but I am not. I am stronger. I am more than all that is. I am you, and I am everything. I am all fear and all that ever will be. So when I tell you to do this, you do it. Let me give you a taste of what happens if you don't. Statement of Sarah Faond regarding the end. Original statement extracted from Subject, July 1st, 2021. Statement begins. I used to lay awake at night staring at the roof above my bed. I was in the darkness, I was alone, and I was so still that I could not feel my own body. I wondered at that moment if that was what death was like. Empty darkness in a place so lonely, unfamiliar and quiet that your thoughts simply could not process its existence. So you sit there, at the end of everything, in the lonely darkness, and it is an empty existence. Before I was nowhere, I worked in finance. Hard to believe that I used to live such a simple life. My parents had been dead for a long time, my sister included. This is going to sound weird, but I never felt too sad about it. I knew that death was an inevitable thing, and I also knew that they lived happy lives. I suppose I only wished that I would see them again. Anyway, I was mostly alone. So when this woman started following me, there wasn't really anyone who I could go to. I suppose I could go to the police, but this woman had never actually done anything to me, and to be honest, I was not even sure that she was real. Every time I looked away, she would be gone, and she had this weird black scarring on her face that I definitely could not explain to the police. So I ignored it, and through time I kind of started to get used to seeing her around. But through time it became worse. Instead of standing far away from me, she would start to stand a lot closer to me. I would see her stand in the middle of the street, in a crowd a little further away. Then I would see her right outside my window, my car door, and worst of all, my dreams. This woman had started appearing in my dreams. I usually never remembered my dreams, but with these it was hard not to. Each one was different, but the idea was always the same. I would wake up from a peaceful slumber and I would look around a dark, unfamiliar room. These dreams were very similar to my regular life. I could go for hours without seeing her, or I could see her immediately, but she would always appear. Each time I saw her, my body would freeze. I would know that it was a dream, since this did not happen normally, but I could still not wake up. The woman, with irregular yet unrecognizable features, would slowly walk toward me. Then as she came closer, her fingers would grow into these twisted claws as she reached them down my throat. And as I felt their cold touch toward the side of my mouth, I would instantly wake up. After my fifth dream, I decided to book an appointment for me to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. Maybe I should have done this earlier, but to be honest, I don't think my mind was thinking all too clearly. It was the day that I sat there in the waiting room that it all went down. People passed by me and people sat next to me. Then I saw her just like I usually did. At first I did not react when she stood there right in front of me, but then she started to move and I felt that same frozen feeling I had felt in my dreams. My mind went back to those times and I realized it must have been a dream. But this time, that did not make sense. My mind fought for the answer to find out whether this was real, and it was just left with this uncertainty as the figure walked toward me. Then I could see her more clearly than I had ever seen her before. She was tall, stretched, and unfamiliar, even though I had seen her so many times before. She was normal with her many-eyed face and her twisted back, and her hair was a long, greasy brown in the light of the hospital waiting room. Then the figure spun her body in weird angles that audibly cracked her bones as she stretched out from me, disobeying the very laws of gravity that kept up our universe. Her legs remained in place as she stretched, and all I could do was stare at her face, that many-eyed face, as her body spiraled toward me. I do not believe in these universal laws, for how could a woman, no, not a woman, a figure stretch at such odd angles if there were universal laws that were the building blocks of all there was? No, the laws were not real. Not any universal laws. I knew when I saw this that it did not follow any laws of the perceivable universe. Our universe is not built out from the laws of gravity, love, or whatever you want to say. It's built out of the things we fear. From the things we fear, reality is invented. I came up with a poem once. Reality is but a trick, an illusion to our minds, a tangled web of lies that we struggle to unwind. Yet if we look closer, an opening we'll find, and let go of illusions to embrace what we know in our mind. Death, a reality we cannot deny, a journey we all must take, though we may try to defy. Empty darkness you'll try and protest, but at the end you'll find a friend, and it will lend a helping end. So for all you've seen and all you've known, erase it all and reality will be shown. Death is the truth in a world of lies, and as the eye in your forehead glows, you'll then become all the wise. You'll vanish and be a memory of all that you were, but don't be down, you have a friend in the void that is the end. Do you see the end? Do you see the pitch black nothingness that swims around you when you close your eyes? Do you hear the silence and feel the loneliness that comes with death? Because it is there, behind the illusion that you choose to call reality. Admire its greatness. Accept its demand for you. Accept your importance to the thing that already has its grasps on you. All you need to do is close your eyes and you will be here. That's what I did when the figure reached out for me. I closed my eyes and I saw the truth. I saw the emptiness, the horror, the void. I saw into the vast empty darkness and I was its friend. I had a relationship with it. I was its friend, my only friend, and I was important to it, to its existence, and it was important to me. So please hear me. Accept the end. Ask your friend, and it will lend a helping end. Statement ends. Final notes. Sarah Faond did in fact not just vanish and then appear in the Great Void, Archivist. Do you want to know how it actually happened? What Sarah Faond cannot remember? Probably not, but I know you feel that thirst to know. Keep reading. Don't stop. From your great friend, the figure. The figure touched my hand slightly and I dropped to my knees as I now truly noticed and recognized the wonderful great darkness behind my eyes. A darkness I longed for but could not reach because of this illusion of reality that had been constructed like a prison around me. I stared at the figure, silent at first but not for long. Please, I begged. I did not need to say more as the figure smiled. Its mouth reached from one side of its mouth to the other, and I could now see a terrifying grin on its face, along with a pair of razor-sharp teeth that were rotten black and covered in blood. It shoved one hand into my left shoulder and the other into my mouth with its long claws. Yet again I felt that cold touch on the edges of my mouth, but I also felt the burning sensation of its claws clawing their way down my throat. Then I felt a heavy pain in my shoulder where it was holding its weird twisted hand. It loomed over me with its neck twisted in weird angles. The pain became worse and worse, and I realized how it was slowly descending down my back, like it was burrowing down my body. I wanted to scream, to fall to the ground, but the figure simply shushed me as I sat on my knees there frozen in silence. Blood poured out of my shoulder and dripped down my yellow loose fabric sweater. Then the pain reached my stomach and my perspective changed, like I had swapped places with a bystander. Though I could still feel every detail of what that figure did to me. I could not close my eyes. I could not blink. I just stared as my body started to violently shake. Then my stomach cracked open and blood was pouring out along with thousands of squirming worms engulfed in my guts. I could feel them cover my skin. I could feel them eat away the suit of flesh that had sustained me for all of my life. I should have been dead, but it was like this figure was keeping me alive and I could see this finished product. They crawled on me, bit me, ate me, and I could feel every detail, unable to make any sound. If only someone powerful had been able to see this and stop it from torturing me. Then when that wish came into my mind, I knew there was someone called the Archivist. I wanted to kill them for not helping me, for not being here. How dare they sit on their asses? I was suffering, so all that pain went into hating them with all of my heart. Then when the bugs were done, I was nothing but bone, and I was finally let free into that empty abyss, that empty void. If only it had been quicker. Statement officially ends. I'll see you soon, Archivist, but you won't see me.
Beware, beware, be skeptic.